What if the future of electric cars, smartphones, and clean energy hinges on one of the poorest and most war-torn places on Earth? In the heart of Africa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo holds the keys to tomorrow. Cobalt, copper, coltan, rare earths, and every superpower knows it. This isn't just economics, it's geopolitics, war, corporate power, and survival, with entire communities paying the price. Welcome to the Macro Decoded. If this deep dive helps you see the big picture, please like, share, and subscribe to the Macro Decoded. It really helps. First, the stakes. Africa holds roughly 30% of the world's critical mineral reserves: cobalt, manganese, graphite, rare earths, platinum group metals. The DRC alone produces over 70% of global cobalt, the metal that sits at the heart of many lithium-ion batteries powering EVs and phones. Meanwhile, China dominates the processing links that capture most of the value, an overwhelming share of rare earth processing and graphite processing, plus expanding roles in cobalt and nickel refining. That's why mines in Africa don't automatically translate into wealth for Africans. Not when the highest value steps happen elsewhere. How did we get here? A quick journey. From 1885 to the early 1900s, Congo was brutally extracted under King Leopold II. After independence, the Cold War remixed exploitation under Mobutu's Zaire. Then, from 1998 to 2003, the Congo Wars turned resources, gold, coltan, diamonds, into fuel for armed groups. The template was set. Minerals flow out, value flows elsewhere. In 2016, a turning point. China Molybdenum bought Tenke Fungurume from Freeport-McMoRan for about $2.65 billion, solidifying China-linked control over top DRC copper-cobalt assets. By the mid-2020s, global EV demand supercharged the scramble. In 2024 to 2025, the M23 insurgency resurged in eastern DRC, seizing the Rwanda mining area, one of the region's coltan hubs, and diverting tantalum flows that end up in electronics. Then a diplomatic shock. On June 27, 2025, a US-brokered DRC-Rwanda peace agreement tried to link security with legal mineral flows and accountability. It's ambitious, fragile, and a clear sign that minerals now sit at the center of geopolitics. Now, the chessboard. China's long game. Invest early, buy stakes, then lock in the choke points. Processing and logistics. In 2025, Beijing backed a $1.4 billion upgrade of the Tazara Railway through Tanzania and Zambia, an eastern outlet for copper belt metals to the Indian Ocean. That directly counters the West-backed Lobito Corridor, which funnels DRC/Zambian copper cobalt west to Angola's Atlantic ports. The US and allies are scrambling to onshore or friendshore processing, and to back Africa to Atlantic routes via Lobito. The message: diversify away from a single point of failure in China. Tanzania is rising as a rare earths player. New projects could make African output approximately 9% of global supply by 2029, with Tanzania alone around 10% of China's RE imports by that point. And Russia's security for resources model persists via Wagner-linked elements, especially in the Central African Republic. Barter gold for guns with grim human rights records. On the ground in Congo, the human cost is staggering. Despite all the metals, roughly 73.5% of Congolese live on less than $2.15 per day. Displacement and violence shadow mining zones, armed groups tax mine sites, workers risk their lives, and communities see pollution but little prosperity. Big tech has faced lawsuits over alleged child labor links in artisanal cobalt mining. A major US case was dismissed in 2024 on legal grounds. But the moral question remains for brands and consumers. The environment pays too. Studies in the DRC/Zambia copper-cobalt belt show elevated heavy metals in nearby communities, with health risks documented. Artisanal gold mining in Ghana has left waterways contaminated with mercury at hazardous levels. And China's rare earth processing hub near Bayo 2, that infamous tailings lake, remains a stark reminder of what processing without strict safeguards can do. So who profits? Upstream in DRC, you'll see Glencore, CMOC, Zijin, Huayu, and others. But the largest value capture is typically at refining and component stages, still concentrated in Asia, especially China. Now, what changed in 2025? 3 big shocks. 1. Peace for minerals diplomacy. The DRC-Rwanda agreement tries to tie security, tracing, and legal trade together. Implementation will be hard, but it's the clearest signal yet that minerals sit inside security policy. 2. Cobalt leverage. In 2025, the DRC tested its market power with an export ban that later morphed into quotas. Prices surged and buyers blinked. 3. The railway race. The Lobito corridor versus a revitalized Tazara. Whoever secures efficient routes from mine to port shapes where the money, the leverage, and the jobs go. Here's what it means. 1. Supply risk is political risk. Expect more resource diplomacy, export controls, and infrastructure power plays. 2. Processing wins the value. Unless Africa builds refining, cell components, and eventually batteries, most value will keep leaving the continent. 3. Justice matters. Conflict financing, child labor, and pollution can delegitimize the green transition. Consumers, investors, and regulators are watching. If today's deep dive helped you connect the dots, please like, share, and subscribe to the Macro Decoded, and drop a comment. Should African governments require local refining before any ore leaves the ground? Thank you for watching the Macro Decoded.